The PressBox High School Lacrosse Show is sponsored by Jerry's Tire, located in Baltimore City, just steps away from Little Italy and historic Jonestown. Jerry's not only sells all the major brand tires like Bridgestone, Michelin, and Continental, but is your go-to shop for everything from oil changes to factory schedule maintenance. All repairs are backed by a nationwide warranty, and the team over at Jerry's has been serving the Baltimore area for over 62 years and are eager to earn your business. Give them a call at 410-685-4330 or visit them online at jerrystire.com to shop for tires and schedule an appointment. That's GERRYS tire.com. Now, here's Booker Corrigan and the PressBox High School Lacrosse Show.
Hey now, what a week we had, and what a week we have in front of us. Nothing like staring down the barrel of William Money. If you could tell me who that character was played by.
William Money
was a no-good scoundrel.
I know this.
You think about it. We're staring down the barrel of St. Mary's at Calvert Hall at 4 o'clock today. On MIAA We share it all over the world. It's on WBAL Me TV Baltimore. It'll be live at the Valley Inn if you want to go there and have Ray serve you up a cocktail and maybe get something.
Frankly, I do.
Snacks. Yeah.
Yeah, frankly, I do.
Maybe I'll go and watch it there.
Yeah, right.
It'll be tough. I'll be doing play-by-play with my main man, Bob Shriver.
The legend.
One of the great people. And if you've ever had a chance to spend a lot of moments with Bob Shriver, one of the things he's great at doing is introducing you to Glenn. This is my friend Tom. Or Glenn,
that's cool.
He's so great at that, and it's something that I've stolen from him. And I like trying to be close to halfway as good as he is. But back to today, the FCA Lacrosse Game of the Week. Calvert Hall hosting St. Mary's. St. Mary's is off to a fantastic start, an unseen start. They were a playoff team last year. BL, who played the title game, went down, took care of them in the first round. We went and did the game, and then BL obviously proceeded to do well. Now BL's a little bit down. They lost a couple players with injuries. It'll be interesting to see how they battle back. Right now, there are 8 teams that I think are of playoff caliber in the A Conference right now, have shown the ability to say, hey, you know what? We deserve a spot. The bad news is only 6 teams make it. So the 7 and 8 teams should probably play a game against one another and just say, you know what? We're pretty darn good.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. No doubt.
It's interesting to see that. But right now, and I have those teams listed, it'll be interesting to see who squeaks in.
Okay, so what are your rankings?
I don't have a ranking so much.
Okay, you just have your,
But Calvert Hall's the class of the league. Calvert Hall might be the class of the country. Their only loss is an overtime loss to Hill Academy, who is a bunch of older young men who are coached by Brody Merrill. Right. They're fantastic kids, and they're great at lacrosse. They live and breathe lacrosse. They go on to college just like a lot of kids from the MIAA. If we all collaborated and put an all-star team together, kind of like the Under Armour underclass Baltimore team.
We should think about that, by the way.
Put the PGs together. We'd have Matt Brandow on that team, Chris Brandow on that team.
I like that team. I like
Garrett Zingalia, the player who's getting minutes at Towson. Out of Calvert Hall, there's so many good kids. It's JT Bugliosi, who's now at Ohio State. I could go on and on. I could go. Greg I playing at Towson.
The point is, this is big today.
Oh yeah, today's a big one.
This is big,
and you got to get to MIAAlacrosse.com and make sure you understand that if you can't be there, we can bring it to you even better.
All right, so Booker, take me through who we're seeing on the field today. Who's special in this Calvert Hall-St. Mary's game?
So St. Mary's is on the road. It'll be interesting to see how they adapt to that, although they came up and beat St. Paul's, who was red hot at the time. B.J. Burlace, number 44, St. Mary's, is a star. Number 28, Ian Cramp, is a star on attack. B.J. Burlace, long stick midi defense wherever they need him. Coach Vic Lilly's done a fantastic job of bringing his team together and developing players. And that's so important. As a high school coach, you have to have the ability to develop players. The other guy they have that I absolutely am crazy over is number 13, Alex Wicks. He is a Swiss Army knife, to use a Quintism.
Sure, right.
Yeah, Quint's the voice of lacrosse. People have done so many great things, Quint being absolutely one of them. the Swiss Army knife for St. Mary's. He can score goals. He can play defense. He can clear the ball. He can play wings on faceoffs. He checks the air pressure in the bus tires before they come up, and he makes a mean funnel cake.
I mean, right? He's a hero.
He really is the guy that you can't live without, but he won't show up on the score sheet every game. He'll have, 1 assist, or he'll have 2 goals and no assist. He's just one of those guys. But every coach in the league, if they could steal a player, it's Cranf, Burles, and Wicks that they would steal off of St. Mary's. And I think Wicks might be the first pick. If you asked Coach Brian Kelly after the game if you could steal one of their guys, who would you take?
Wow.
It's an interesting way. And we always do that when I'm on a conference call with a coach for an ESPN game. I always say to him, who flies under the radar on your team and what kid would just steal off the other team?
Right.
And you get some great answers because coaches, great knows great. Game knows game. And players know players. For Calvert Hall, the list is long and distinguished. Daniel Kelly, the left-handed attackman. Saucy Jack Sawyer, number 6, is a phenomenal attackman, and he can quick you. Then they bring a freshman, Truett Sunderland. Number 3, starts for him. Aiden Fritz is a nice little Swiss Army knife for them. Obviously, their first midfield, Grant Mitchell, Connor Mitchell, and Cole Herbert, studs. And then they bring in, a couple guys to round that out. Sometimes they split up the Mitchells. It'll be that. And then you have Jackson Marshall in the cage. Jake Snyder, defenseman, is a star. Parker Bird is a star.
It smells like everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what it smells like to me.
And that's why Calvert Hall is the class of I would say class of the league,
yeah.
and I would say class of the state, then I would say class of the region, and then I would say class of the country. The only team they lost to, Canada.
Pretty good.
Hill Academy.
Pretty good.
Yes, they're stars. Now, the other development in the league is the fact that BL and McDonough, for different reasons, McDonough's played playoff teams so far, and they haven't been able to squeak out a win. They got surprised by St. Paul's. I say surprised, not because I don't respect St. Paul's, just because they weren't a playoff team last year.
Right.
And that's part of the mix when you're making a casserole of MIAA lacrosse. Did you play in the playoffs last year is part of the ingredients. And they didn't. So life's going to have to go on.
Also an early season game,
and
right?
Now I have this thing in the back of my mind that maybe they lost in the first round.
I hope you're not looking for me for the definitive answer on that because I don't have it for you. All right, but take me through other things. By the way, we're in the, of course, the live casino hotel studio here at PressBox for the high school lacrosse show. Take me through other things that have gone on since we last talked last Monday. And then we'll set up the rest of this week.
So for the game of the week last Friday night, we were lucky enough to do the Calvert Hall-McDonough game.
Yep.
It was 8-6 at one point. Calvert Hall has that ability to distance themselves from you very, very quickly. And they did that to McDonough. McDonough, it was 4-4 at one point. Then Calvert Hall gets up a couple. McDonough gets up one. Then it's 8-6 game. And if you went to the bathroom, you came back. It was 11-6 Calvert Hall, and they had no problems with anyone. It's crazy their ability to make you have to be focused, determined, and deliberate for all 48 minutes.
Sure.
And Calvert Hall's gifted at that, and they're going to live a long, healthy season for this year as long as they can stay healthy. And now I'm looking to see if St. Paul's made the playoffs.
It's killing you. It's killing you, right? Booker's, look, he's a perfectionist. He's a man who doesn't like to get anything wrong. And the notion that he might have got something wrong is absolutely killing him here on the High School Lacrosse Show, brought to you by Jerry's Tire. Jerry'sTire.com, GERRYS Tire.com for Jerry's Tire. I had the pleasure of meeting John from Jerry's this weekend while I was up in New Jersey.
Yes.
I was at WrestleMania over the weekend, and so was John from Jerry's Tire. It was an awesome moment. He's like, dude, Glenn, I'm John. I'm like,
nice.
No, holy crap. It was a very cool moment. Very cool moment.
And WrestleMania, what was the highlight? Other than being in a suite.
Yeah, being in a suite didn't suck.
What arena was it in?
It was not an arena. It was in MetLife Stadium, the home of the New York Football Giants.
Holy
there
Moses.
Were 82,000 people there, Book. Yeah. Wow. That's the world that WrestleMania is living in. That's that world. No, I had a great time. I had a great time up there this week. That's why I had to do the show on Tuesday of this week. If you're a little bit confused as to why we always say we're on a Monday, this week we are on Tuesday because I ran away to New York this past weekend. Booker had a trip down to Florida this weekend, improved his tan.
I did. I worked on my tan with my sister's twin.
Right.
Fantastic. I got my shirt on. I'm ready for game day.
No doubt.
FCA Lacrosse game of the week. The other thing is when you look at that St. Mary's Calvert Hall roster, a lot of Under Armour underclass team members from both D.C. Some of the St. Mary's guys go try out for D.C.
Sure.
Some of them come up and try out in Baltimore. B.J. Burley's stud, Ian Cramp stud, both played on the Baltimore Under Armour underclass All-American team. Calvert Hall, obviously. People sometimes, when the selections come out for that team, and we had Ty Zanders on the game of the week to talk about the senior selections, but when the selections come out for that team, obviously last year a lot of Calvert Hall kids made it. And you know why they made it? Because they're really good.
That's a good reason to make it, right?
They're two-time defending MIAA A Conference champs. And parents will complain like, well, it's all political. Is the fact that they won 2 straight championships political? Like, did BL let goals in the
I don't think that's the way, right? Yeah,
because it's political.
Right? They scored 3 straight goals, and there is an 8-6 game to make it 11-6 because of politics. Yeah,
is that political?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I'm not an expert on the subject, but yeah, I would tend to agree with you.
It's just confounding how they can't draw the correlation of, there's a lot of Calvert Hall kids on the team because Calvert Hall's really good.
Right.
And that it is what it is. And the team also, they go to the semifinals, if not finals, if not win the championship every year, which Baltimore did. And it lends me right into the BL scenario. They're not having a great year right now. They just beat John Carroll up at U.S. Lacrosse. Brian Farrell, their head coach, is a phenomenal person, and he is doing all that he can to bring that team together and help those young men become the best possible version of themselves, which is 2 of the main goals of a coach in any sport. But when you have Brendan Grimes, who is the MVP of the underclass All-American games for the Baltimore team in the championship game, phenomenal young man, he has a stress fracture in his back. He can't play.
Right.
You talk about how important high school lacrosse is. Living life without huge back issues might be a little bit more
that would
important.
Right.
So he's stepping away, and he's doing a nice job of supporting his guys, but he can't be out there. You take a phenomenal talent, one of the top players in the country, off any team, and you're going to suffer a little bit of a loss, a little bit of a setback. You can't replace him. So St. Paul's, Trey Whitty, their coach, has done a nice job of building them together, although St. Mary's found a way to take them down.
And that sets up this afternoon, clearly.
St. Paul's was lost to St. Mary's at home. And sometimes that St. Mary's home away really matters. Calvert Hall, it'll be noisy today. They'll have probably 1,000 people there.
The weather's good, right?
Yep, beautiful day. Kids showing some shorts.
Yeah, showing off a little leg.
Yeah,
showing a little
Bob
leg
Weir
today.
showing skin.
I like it.
Yeah, Bruce
I like
sitting
it.
in. Yeah.
What else is coming up this week, Book?
Friday we have no game.
Okay.
Because we're just doing the
one
game.
It's Easter weekend.
Yeah,
right?
Game of the week.
I get it.
So we're doing one, WBAL Me TV. If you get Verizon or Comcast, you can watch it today. No game Friday, because it is. It's Good Friday.
Right.
Hopefully, I might find myself on a golf course somehow.
Hey, man, that's not a bad place to be. Anything else in the world of high school lacrosse coming up this week?
This week, Gilman.
Yes.
Is a team that you want to find a way to watch. Gilman is sneaky good, and I have in my notes right here. Gilman's schedule for this year is the most intriguing. The way they built it, it's Brooks Matthews' final season.
Yeah.
They are still playing it very close to the vest as far as replacements and interviews. I haven't heard a word about that. But let's look at the lesson for the week.
Okay.
Dodging. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
I've heard that.
The 5 Ds of dodging: dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge.
Yes.
The ADAA has certain policies, and parents. This is I'm talking to you. I'm talking to parents who like to raise their voice about stuff during games. And one of the things I'll tell you is a guy who's coached lacrosse since 1989 and at camps even before then. You dodge an opponent who comes at you out of control. I don't care if it's at man up. I don't care if it's in transition. I don't care if it's in 6-on-6, if it's off movement. If you have an opponent come at you who's out of control, what do?
Go for it. Go
Dodge
make your
him.
move. Right.
Toe drag, face dodge, drive at the goal. A lot of times you'll hear parents yelling from the bleachers, "You shouldn't dodge on man up." Why wouldn't you?
Well, if you got the space.
First of all, you're already a man up in the slide. I don't know. A lot of coaches were like, okay, slides on man down. They don't, because they're not expecting dodges. I used to teach our kids all the time. Dodge players who are coming at you out of control. If they're coming at you too fast and they're not breaking down, they're not favoring your stick side, you should go by them and get closer.
Just takes one move, right?
Exactly, and they can't recover. I don't understand why these parents who they love to yell when a kid shoots sidearm and it goes wide, shoot overhand.
Right.
But when they shoot sidearm and they sting the corner, do they yell shoot overhand?
No, typically not. Right, yeah.
And I coached a young man. I'm going to leave his name out of this because I coached a lot of young men who would fly off the wings on faceoffs. And they were gifted athletically, and they would scoop. They could come in, get the ground ball with one hand, and go down and play offense. Nobody ever said two hands. Right? Nobody said, scoop with two hands, because you get the ground ball. As a coach, I used to say, scoop the ball. I don't care how you do it. Score goals. I don't care how you do it. And make plays. And if you can do those things, you're going to be outplayed.
Great shape, right.
If you can't do those things, we can stand and watch the game together.
Right.
And I'm not a bad person to watch a game
with.
No,
happy to chat with you. Right.
Happy to chat. Yep. So we have the Gilman schedule. So they go through an out-of-conference schedule that I think they lost to Hill Academy 12-9 in a game that I believe was 9-9 at one point. I always qualify things. They lost to Bullis in the PNC Invitational by 1 on a last-minute goal. The game was tied for the last 5 minutes. I had the pleasure of doing that game with Mark Dixon. Absolutely Hall of Fame game. Brooks Matthews has his guys right where he needs them to be. Then they destroy Brophy Prep from Arizona. Episcopal Academy, one of the best teams up in Philly. Gilman pops them right in the mouth, 12-5. Then they take on Hereford. Now, Severn, Mount St. Joe, Spalding are their first 3 league games. You're looking at going 3-0 there. Then they get tested by St. Mary's, St. Paul's, Loyola, Calvert Hall, which you're going to have to go through Murderers Row to an extent. Then they have John Carroll. So they're going to, John Carroll is a good team. Brian King, their head coach, is a phenomenal person, and he does a great job of helping young men become the best possible version of themselves.
Sure.
But it's going to be a struggle for a little while until they can get the players and develop the players and play the system that they're going to be able to succeed in the A Conference. Then they finish with BL and McDonough. BL, by that point, will already have a really clear picture of their playoff standing.
Okay.
And if they're going to be in that 7-8 slot or if they're going to be in the 4-5-6 spot, so that BL could be playing a home playoff game or they could be playing for their playoff lives. But Gilman BL is always a fantastic game. And then they finish with their arch rival McDonough, who at that point, Coach Hill Gartner, the head coach at McDonough, will have righted the ship. I know they're 0-3 right now. I, in the back of my mind, still think they could play in the title game against Calvert Hall. I think right now you would have to say Calvert Hall. If we were doing the pool that we just did on your show,
yes,
we'd argue to pick Calvert, or we just say you can't pick Calvert.
Yeah, right, because it's too easy. Right, I hear you.
They're a phenomenal team right now. They really are. They're hitting their second midfield group sometimes outscores their first midfield group. That speaks to their depth. They really are a phenomenal team. So it'll be interesting. But I love the way Gilman's schedule is laid out for them, where they get a little bit of like a kind of warm-up. Then they get a Murderers Row. Then they have John Carroll. Then they have 2 final games where you can really start perfecting some things. And Brooks Matthews, the head coach at Gilman, will have his guys ready to make a playoff run that could be very, very interesting. That'll be nice to see how that evolves.
Right, it'd be a special story if it played out that way. All right, one more reminder.
Hit me on Twitter at BookerCorrigan.
At Booker Corrigan. Yeah, that's it.
I keep thinking about my sister's twin. I don't know why that is.
It's really weird. Really weird, right? At Booker Corrigan on Twitter. Hit him up there. This afternoon, 4 o'clock, the game of the week.
MIAA Lacrosse.com, or just go to CSELax.com, or tune in BAL Me TV, Baltimore.
Excellent. Or get over to the Valley Inn.
Or go to
do any of those things.
See my man Pelks over at the Valley Inn. Ask for my man Ray. everything's good when you're in there.
Are you kidding me?
They might have the AC on today.
They probably need to. There's no doubt. All right. Thanks again to Jerry's Tire for making the show possible.
Jerry's Tire, phenomenal to have that. I'm glad you got a chance to meet John.
It's really cool. Really cool.
And you might be getting some new tires.
And he's a huge lacrosse. Like, his family obviously very plugged in. His son's lacrosse players, right? Like, he's a big lacrosse guy. John from Jerry's Tires.
I'm now regretting that I bought tires this time last year.
That was a huge mistake. You should have turned to John at Jerry's Tire, which is what I believe I'm about to do, because I need 4 tires right now, and my wife was about to just throw that money to somebody who didn't deserve it. Jerry's has said they want to earn your business.
Yeah.
Like, they're not, you go down there, they want to, it's an experience. They want to make you somebody who goes back to Jerry's Tire. Right at the bottom of 83, Jerry's Tire, GERRYS. Tire.com. All right, Book, take us home.
I'm just fired up for St. Mary's Calvert Hall today. I got to tell you that. The other thing I want to remind you is you only get one shot at today.